Yeah, I think when you're looking at that mini budget that we had on Friday, I mean, look what it's done to sterling. So Rachel Reeves, the shadow chancellor, who wants to see herself in the Treasury in 2 and a bit years' time, when she was setting out those plans and saying she would restore that additional higher rate of tax of 45p, that's wildly popular in the country, mainly because not a lot of people pay it anyway. So the vast majority of the public would rather see that money go to the NHS. And the sort of confidence surrounding this conference, you look at, there was a YouGov poll out this morning that shows a 17-point lead for Labour. So, they are convinced they're on the way to power.
But on this point of the 45p rate, the Labour Party is trying to say that it's the fiscally responsible party now, that it would deal with the debt. Therefore, why is it out announcing extra spending with the same level of tax? Surely that's just announcing extra debt.
We're bringing in extra revenue by reintroducing a tax. That revenue can be dedicated to the NHS because the NHS desperately needs it.
But it's not extra revenue because the tax is currently in place. It would be cut and then it would go back up. That's the same level of revenue.
No, it isn't. We'll inherit a budget created by the Tories. Previously, to show our fiscal responsibility, we've said we will stick to their spending plans. What we're actually saying now is we're going to start rebuilding the public finances by reintroducing this tax, which 69% of Labour defectors to Tory in the 2019 election like. It's a great policy for the swing voter. It's a great policy. It's an emblematic policy. We'll have to rebuild the finances, and there'll be more on it to come.
It's emblematic, I think, is the word here, right? Because this is a policy that affects maybe £2 billion of revenue. Now, in the context of 150 billion plus pounds of spending, that's a difference of 148 billion of spending or 150 billion of spending. It's not really the kind of thing that will move markets. What else does the Labour Party need to do here to try and say that really what we're seeing at the moment in the markets wouldn't happen under the Labour Party?
Yeah, I think it's all about responsibility and what Labour would do in government. So, the specific measures they've talked about either reversing or they wouldn't go ahead with from Friday's mini budget, they are portraying themselves as a party of you can trust us with the economy again, because that reputation that the Conservatives have had and enjoyed for so long about being able to manage the economy, well, if you look at what happened on the markets yesterday to the pound, that's gone. We're talking like Black Wednesday levels of trust being lost in the Conservative Party and their handling of the economy, I think.
So if we're looking at the Labour Party and what it does next, we may be 2 years out from an election. It's a very different Conservative Party that this Labour Party is now opposing. Is it only an economic pitch that the Labour Party needs to find here? Or are there other issues of differentiation to try and build that coalition of voters that is needed in some very tricky parts of the country? Scotland is still a big problem for the Labour Party. The Labour Party lead is less big in parts of the Red Wall. What is the message beyond the economy?
We've got to have an emotional connection message. We've got to say we're back. We've got to say we're patriotic. We've got to say we're on your side. You heard that from Rachel yesterday. You're going to hear it a lot. Politics, in one sense, is a binary choice. You're either out of touch or you're on my side. At the moment, Boris Johnson was always on your side. When he did Partygate, he became out of touch. Liz Truss hasn't really had an on your side moment, because it looks like if she's raising my mortgage, she's not on my side. And so Labour's got to have those head and heart policies. Head policies around the economy, heart policies are about what will you do for me and my family, because what matters to me is my kids. So save the planet, that's quite good for my kids. Cut my electricity bills, that's good for the whole household. So you've got to find a way of having, as Ben said, the retail offer. The retail and the detail of the retail offer will be stuff that is emotional as well as economic and as well as logical.
Well, John McTernan and Ben Glaze, thank you so much for joining me this morning here live from Labour Party conference. Not long before we'll get to see exactly what Sir Keir Starmer says at 2 p.m. today.